Hello and welcome to Eat These Words. Today I am looking at something called a gobbet cake, which I'll tell you all about in a moment. But for now, let's get into this. Okay, so before we start, put your oven onto gas mark 4. I'll put the conversions on the screen now for you, and put some paper cases into a mini muffin tin. You need about 48 in total for this because these are small cakes, so be aware. This is silicone that I'm using. So in the bowl I've got 4 ounces of butter and 4 ounces of caster sugar, and I'm going to cream these until they become light and fluffy, hopefully. I hope that, oh yeah, we're all right. It's warm today, so we're lucky. This cake dates back to the 1700s. It's from a time when sugar was a little bit cheaper to deal with. It wasn't as expensive, making it more accessible to the masses. Not necessarily the working classes, but certainly the middle classes. And the upper classes, of course. Flour as well came into its own in this period. Flour in the past had been, well, mealy, should we say. It was quite gritty. And in the 1700s, what happened was they invented a roller way of milling instead of the flat stone. They would roll everything, and it created a finer, more refined flour, which meant that more delicate cakes and pastries could be made by households. You know, things were moving on at a pace. As well, what happened in the 1700s was that ovens became more accessible as well. Ranges were invented. In the past it had been some kind of like beehive shape, an oven, and it was done over the fire. Baking was done over the fire, which was inconsistent really. The beehive oven as well was inconsistent. There was no doors on these things, so they couldn't regulate any sort of heat. But they did actually bring in a cast iron oven in the 1700s, which used to sit to the side of the fire, and it made it easier for households to bake and to make things a little bit more dainty than things that had been previous. Hannah Glass started producing books about cooking, and that made it even more interesting to everybody. Nearly there, getting there. Takes a minute or two to get your butter and your sugar together. And now, from this colour here, I don't know if you can see that, from this colour here, we need to change it to a pale cream colour. What we need to do before we make it any lighter is zest a lemon. So we're going to zest that right into the bowl. Now, just for anybody who's not seen any of my videos before, the zest is the yellow bit, not the white, which is what we're after. The white bit is a bit bitter. We don't want that. We just want the oils, and the best part is where all the oils are, and that gives the most flavour. We don't want the pithy bit. No, 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 we don't want that. So zest your lemon in, but don't get rid of your lemon. We need the lemon for later. As much as you can. You could also use orange if you wished, but if you know me, you know I like lemons. And now we want to cream this until this colour turns to a nice pale colour. So just give it welly. What's give it welly mean? It means put as much effort as you can into it. So when your batter gets to this stage, it goes from being sort of paste, shall we say, as for want of a better word, to quite a loose consistency. There's a lot more moisture in it. than when you first started, which is a good hint that you've gone far enough with it if you can't tell from the colour. Okay, once we've done that, what we need to do is add some eggs. 2 eggs here. These are large eggs, and I'm going to do them one at a time. Put one there. And we're going to give them a bit of a beat before we put them in. So I'm going to add it gradually and beat it in as I go. So a little bit at a time. Woohoo. Which is difficult to do with eggs because it tends to come out in a one. So. Now you will need probably to scrape down the sides, so get yourself a spatula when you're doing this, because you'll need it. A nice silicone or plastic spatula would do the job. And just give it a good old beat. Get your elbows used. Good for the muscles, working and baking by hand. There we go. Put some more in. That's that egg in when we're done. Just gently does it. It will look like that to start off with, but don't worry. It'll get your elbows involved and it'll work. If you find working with this wooden spoon is difficult, then use a whisk if you feel that's easier at this stage. There we go, so that's incorporated. Egg number 2, here we go. Just pop that there. Give it a hard crack. Now these cakes are Gobbet cakes. And the name goes back to Old English, possibly even earlier to French. I think it's derived from the French gobbet. And basically it means a small mouthful. It's good, isn't it? These cakes are traditionally flavoured with lemon or any other citrus fruit that you can find. But you could make them whatever flavour you wish. You know, this is just the base recipe, you go with it. It's only 5 ingredients, which is the quick to make, especially if you use a hand mixer or a blender or something. Now I know in my part of the world, we still use the word gob to mean your mouth. There we go. So that's our mixture. We're going to now add some flour and some baking powder. And there's 80 grams of flour and 1 teaspoon of baking powder, which I'm going to sieve into my mixture. So all in it all goes. This cake derives from the 1700s. Look at that, it's like a spongy cake, isn't it? The juice we'll start with half a lemon, but you can actually use a full lemon if you need. It could be that yours needs slightly more lemon than mine does. And pop a little bit in, because it needs to be dropping consistency, which it nearly is, but not quite. But I don't want to put too much lemon in to make it soggy. We don't want soggy. Dropping means when it falls off the spoon with a slight knock. It's better. There we go. So that's just under half a lemon. So I'm taking a teaspoon, okay, just your average teaspoon, and I'm going to put a teaspoon, well, less than a teaspoon to be fair, into each case. Once you've got the mixture into your cases, is to add a little tiny bit of stem ginger to the top of each cake. If you don't like it, then leave this bit off, because I think it'll probably drop into the middle anyway. Which, to be honest, would be nice. And we're going to be baking these for about 12 minutes. I'll put the conversions again on the screen for you. And they're going to go in the oven for about 12 minutes. Preheat your oven, don't forget to do that, guys. Anyway, I'll be back with you when these are done. So my cakes have come out of the oven. I've made a load that are really tiny, and I made a bigger batch. a bigger cake, just so that we could see what was going on. The little ones took 12 minutes in the middle of the oven, and the larger ones took 15 minutes, and I put them in the top of the oven. And they do come out of these cases really well. I'll just show you. There you go. Look at that. The ginger did sink to the bottom as expected, but they are just a mouthful. Lemony, gingery, tasty. If I was doing these again, I would make the larger ones because I'm a pig. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you. Bliss out.